Good guy.
One thing, there's basically three positions in production sound, and he used the term utility. It's also sometimes referred to as the cable guy, but that's kind of the old school thing.
Right.
Because you're much
We're all
more-
wireless now.
Yeah, well, for the most part we are. But there's the sound mixer, the boom operator, and the sound utility / second boom operator. But those are the three positions generally on a film set. Sometimes you'll have an additional utility, and sometimes you'll have a playback guy if you're doing something that involves music and playback and lip sync, and there'll be a fourth person. That person generally operates a Pro Tools system for the playback.
I do think that if you want to be in the sound field, you do need a higher education because the technology is advancing so fast that you've just got to be able to have a solid foundation to build on and go with that.
The best example, and we're talking about a feature film versus television.
Yes.
And episodic television generally, and these are general terms, it can be different.
Each project's different.
Different, but generally television shoots 7 to 10 pages a day. Okay. Feature film, I'm not talking low budget, but your average feature film, we're talking,
50 mil and up.
well, I was
Even
even
25.
I'd say 25 million and up. They're going to do about 3 pages a day of the script. Okay, and these are averages. So think about it. You're doing 7 to 10 pages a day on television. That's working really fast and very quick, versus taking a little more time to maybe light it a little better, to set it up a little better, to rehearse it a little better. You're only doing 3 pages a day on a feature film. So sometimes it's referred to, and I think these guys will back me up, that television can be kind of like factory work almost. You're making the widgets, you're just nailing it out. Now there are exceptions. Some of the shows that are on Netflix and HBO, they'll spend 10 or 12 days on an episode. And so therefore that's bringing their page count to maybe 4 or 5 pages a day. Not quite a feature pace, but not quite the factory work on standard episodic television.
But you can tell the difference in the production value.
Yeah.
Because they take a little bit longer, they spend a little bit more money on their set design and set execution
And
and
their distribution's different, so
Yeah.
they can time it out differently.
Yeah.
they don't have nearly the overhead. You know, when it goes straight to internet, you don't have the distribution overhead that you have when you doing a theatrical release.
Right.
The sound utility can be equivalent to a best boy on a grip or a lighting crew. The sound utility basically runs all of the back office stuff, handles all the paperwork, all the inventory control, does a lot of the interface with the AD staff, has almost 100%.
And the office.
And the office.
Well, yeah, essentially, we have to be in contact with everybody.
They're the coordinator of the department.
And
The mixer just sits there and pushes buttons.
gotcha.
and the utility not only has to know how to do their job, they have to know all the equipment backwards and forwards, and they have to be able to pick up a boom pole and fill in or help be a
somebody's
second
not
boom.
there, right.
Yeah.
So
Or say, for example, the sound mixer is sick or has a bathroom emergency. The utility has to be able to jump into the chair and fill that spot for the few minutes that the sound mixer has to be away. So the sound utility really is.
A seasoned person all the time on it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
they have to really know the whole department
Right.
inside and out. So even though it sounds like they're the lowest person on the totem pole, in actuality, they're not. They're really not.
And a lot of people get confused thinking that, oh, this is an entry-level position. I can just go and start and learn there. You've got to bring us certain skills to the table to begin with. We can teach people sound. I don't really think that's hard to teach our craft of sound. Teaching people film, I think, is more challenging. If you don't know how a sound department interacts with these other 80 to 150 people on the set, with the lighting department, with the camera department, with the art department, with set dressing, with wardrobe, with props, and it goes on and on and on. We have to act with all these different departments, and to teach somebody that is very challenging. If somebody's been a production assistant in film and television and knows how these departments work, that's an experienced person that knows how to do film. I can teach that person sound fairly easy if they know film already. So that's something to kind of think about. getting in and maybe working as a production assistant and learning how a film set works is really a good way, a great way to start.
Oh, absolutely.
Nobody ever hired me off my resume.
Nope.
I never have gotten a job off my resume. I've gotten a job because this producer knew that producer, and that producer said, yeah, hire Whit. I worked with him the last time I was in Atlanta. He's a great sound guy. The way I've hired people, I never hired anybody off their resume. Somebody said, okay, I'm going to Cleveland or New York or LA or somewhere, and they're gonna ask me to hire a local utility person. Well, I call one of the sound mixers there that I know and say, who do you recommend? I'm not sitting there taking resumes. And this is pretty much true across the industry.
Doesn't matter what craft you're in.
Doesn't matter what craft you're in, you're hired off your reputation or who you know. Pretty much production assistants are about the only people that are not in the union, well, visual effects, but we won't get into that. But lighting, camera, sound, wardrobe, art department, carpentry, props, everything is governed by the union. So it might be something you want to look at. I know we could spend a whole half hour talking about that, but it might be something you want to look at. And you can go to IATSE, IATSE479.org, and look at their website.
And I didn't have a sound resume, but I knew Whit, and he took a chance on me because I impressed him. And that's how all of you are going to make it in whatever craft you choose to follow. Same way.
Yeah.